Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Drew and this is JustAGuyLinux, and this is another video about DWM. Well friends, it has been a minute. I haven't put out a video in a little bit, and I am planning to do a little bit more often simply because Matt, my LinuxCast co-host, and I are pushing each other to do at least one video a week, and there will be a penalty for the one who does not complete the task. And I'm not going to lose. So with that said, the question will be why another video on DWM. I've made some changes, and the changes have been on the heels of this. This is a Chris Titus video that came out a couple weeks ago. This is him deciding he was going to go to Fedora, basically Fedora server, and use DWM. And I took away two things from this video, and I will link to the video below. But the first thing is a shift in the things that he wanted to put out. Arch was really pushing the content that he was creating. Now, I've never had that problem. Clearly, I've been on Debian the entire history of this channel. But he has become more immersed in the projects that he has been interested in. And that is the same thing as me. I haven't put out the content that I have in the past because of the, projects that I have been either undertaking or becoming more passionate about. And I feel you. I feel you, bro. Now, the second takeaway had to do with his version of DWMs. And apparently he's put out a DWM a couple weeks ago. I know that he has an ISO for this, and I'm going to not be able to find it. No, that's right there, actually. So there is the DWM-Titus ISO, and I guess it has Fedora on it. The thing that made me go, was that he was using a TOML file for key bindings. Now, this is a serious implementation because what you need is a TOML parser, which has been written. And the reality of it is, once you make a change to the TOML file, it should have a live reload the moment the file changes. Now, clearly I haven't done my DWM this way, and there are reasons associated with that. Now, I just recorded something and it took a really long time, and I've already deleted it. So let me just pare it down because there are some differences between his version of DWM and mine. And I just want to kind of go over those really quickly. His is a hybrid, a suckless core with the modern Qt shell. So you get rich widgets and a slick bar at the cost of a second design language and the Qt runtime riding along. Mine stays one philosophy, end-to-end, DWM, SL status, DWM tabs, small C programs in the same idiom, each readable in an afternoon. Everything else is sudo apt install on Debian. The bar isn't nearly as flashy, and that is a real trade. It's not a dodge, it's just the way it is. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to jump over here because what I learned from Titus's implementation, I'm going to show you in a second, okay? But here is the DWM setup on my Codeberg, how to install, and so on. Now, I've added a wiki fairly recently. There's been a changes 5 days ago. So I did want to say that if you cannot find it in the README, there is a decent chance that you'll see it in the wiki. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to use super and then the slash, okay, which shows key bindings. Okay. Now this used to be the problem, and this is what I gained from Titus's implementation of DWM. I was using a keybindings.txt file to populate this particular script, which shows you what the key bindings are. Now I didn't really change the way you do key bindings per se, but how this script actually gets the information from the DWM configuration file as well as the sxhkdrc file is now, it should be seamless. It should be live. Every time you have to rebuild and compile DWM, it should repopulate this particular script so that you get actual correct key bindings. I hope I said that correctly. Now, the takeaway is that his TOML is input, and what I've been talking about is output. All right, I'm not going to be changing the configuration file. But what I'm going to change is basically how you see the key bindings and what the key bindings, the two key binding configuration files look like now, so that you have proper output. Again, this is just me being really strange. Okay, I get that. Okay, let's go over to tag 5, and we're looking at the config.def.h file. Okay, so, or the configuration file for DWM. Okay, you're going to note that I put a lot of comments in. The reason why clearly is so that when I do hit this /, you're going to see those comments show up for key bindings. Again, if you're going to change this, that's fine, because the configuration will then, the output will change every time you make. Now, why does it do that? Because I've added this to the make file where it builds this keybindings.txt using the gen keybinds script. Okay, I'm not going to go into why this works, but you'll see that there, in terms of the comments, I've got a couple things. One, this exclamation point kind of puts it at the very top. So notice that closed is going to be at the top of window, as well as terminal is going to be at the top of launch. Okay, and you'll see a couple other things too. Now, when I hit /, you're going to say, why? Why does super space end up at the top here? It's not anywhere in this configuration file. Well, that's true, because I'm using the configuration file for DWM to handle like this, the obvious launch, which is the terminal, as well as, well, I mean, I haven't even talked about this, but it uses dmenu as well. So if I hit super P, you'll see at the very top, there's that. But there's also the sxhkdrc. So I'm using both to make it really easy. A lot of this stuff you're never going to touch, but if you want to, and then you end up rebuilding, then it will change your helper script. If you don't, you're still fine. Okay. So anyway, what I was talking about was this particular exclamation here puts this at the top of the helper script. All right, that's why that is there. And you'll see that, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, Thunar. I don't have to rebuild my configuration file for something like changing my file manager or my editor or GIMP or Helium or what have you, okay? You can do all those things within your sxhkd. The only thing that you need to change then, or to get it to actually work, is just to say, okay, super escape, and it will reload, and then you're good to go. You don't have to do anything. So like I said before, if I just hit super space, you're going to launch Rofi, okay? And let's go ahead and make the change here. So if I say super B here, it shows Helium browser. Actually, it shows it in a couple of spots, doesn't it? Helium browser here as well. But let's just say I want to change this to Firefox. All right, and Firefox ESR, and save that. And let's say super escape. Now you're going to look at that it's reloaded, and when I use super B, it's going to launch Firefox, as well as super / where it will show super B is launch browser Firefox. Now, before I make the change that I was about to make, I wanted to make a suggestion real quick. Okay. If you're using aliases like most of you do in terminal, I would say, like for example, I'm using butterbash. Okay. So it puts an aliases.bash file in your .config/bash. And I'm just going to go ahead and make a quick change. Okay. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to make it like pretty. Okay, guys, I'm just going to, where would be a good part for this? I'm just going to put it right here. Okay. Actually right here. So I'm just going to say alias, and then I'm going to say remake equals. And now I'm just going to say remove config.h, and then make, and then sudo make clean install, and then close that, and let's save it. And now I'm going to go ahead and close this. And now if I go to, let's just close that and go to a terminal. And if I go to config, so actually it would be cd into .config suckless dwm. I feel like I'm going too fast for anybody to understand what the heck I'm doing. But if I do remake here, okay, it's going to do the things that I want it to do. It's going to remake your DWM config. I'm going to go ahead and clear that now. Okay, back to tag 1. And before I change Kitty and do an example of changing something in your configuration file, I do want to mention that for those of you that know me, I have been using either WesTerm or Ghosty for the most part for quite some time now, and have made that the default terminal in all of the X11 window managers as well as Sway, and between DWM and Sway. And I have since replaced all of those with Kitty. And the reason why I think, well, many of my friends use Kitty as their go-to terminal, and I think that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with WesTerm or Ghosty, but it's just one less point of failure in these installation setups. It's coming directly from the Debian packages. I don't have to actually use an external install script that downloads and builds. So all of that is it is a reason to just use Kitty as the default for all of those. But having said that, let's remove it, okay? So I'm going to go replace, and there's Kitty, and I'm going to replace it with WesTerm, and I'm going to replace all. Oh, did I say replace? Oh, did I mess up? Oh, let me try that one more time. All right, replace all, and then Kitty for WesTerm and in this document, okay? And so it's going to replace it, and right there it shows that there are 6 occurrences that switch between Kitty and WesTerm, and I'm good with that. Let's go ahead and save that. Well, let's go back over to tag 3, and let's remake. Okay. And now, if I use /, you're going to see that WesTerm is now the default terminal. So, long story short, this is the output from the configuration file now is output to Rofi and the helper script. Now, the only thing I didn't do was use super Shift R, because you need to restart DWM. I know that is not great, but that's just the way it is, super, and then I can just hit super enter, and now you'll see that WesTerm is the default terminal. Okay. Now I'm almost done with the video, so I did want to mention a couple things. And this may not be new to a few of you that have seen this already, but I'm going to go to tag 2, and then let's move that over to tag 1. And let's move over the browser to tag 1. So I have 3 different things. And this was the original. DWM tabs is a program that I have incorporated into this particular setup and this build. Okay, so super W and Super W and Super W. Now all three, I'm just using Alt and then Tab to be able to take these, to switch within the tab group. Okay. Now, if you've seen this before on BSPWM, this was the original. This is the one DWM tabs had to be refactored so that I could use it as a value add on BSPWM. And BSPWM has been the one that I've been spending more and more time on. But DWM is still tried and true and really stinking good. So actually, let me go back over here. And you can also just say Alt 2 or 1, Alt 2 or 1. So it will take whichever one is in, in that position, and you can move things around. If you want to remove it from, you just have to detach by saying Super Shift W, and it takes it out of the tab group. Same thing here, Super Shift W, and there you go. Let me go ahead and close this, and let's actually move that back over, and let's Super Shift W so that nothing is part of a tab group now. Okay, last thing is themes. So this is, again, something I probably shouldn't wait until the very last portion of the video to do, but Super Shift T allows you to change the theme. So, like, for example, I'm currently on GitHub Dark, which is kind of the default. And if I want to go to Groovebox, for example, okay, you'll see that it does change the colors, it changes the icons, it changes the wallpaper. Control Shift T. Let's say I want to go to retro. Okay, then it automatically changes everything color-wise, including the background, or the wallpaper rather. So just to show you that stuff like this is not lost. It's still there, and yeah, there you go. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Mission accomplished, friends. Mission accomplished. And we'll see you next time.